entrepreneurs are here. They're budding entrepreneurs. There's new entrepreneurs, people who want to be entrepreneurs and just want to get inspired by your journey. Right? Tell us, why did you start a company at NVIDIA? What was the inspiration behind it?
I had the benefit of working with some of the brightest engineers in the world, and two of my good friends, Chris and Curtis, wanted to start a company, and they reached out to me to join them and to be part of it, and that was really the beginning. The question wasn't inspired by some extraordinary event that was happening in the world, or it wasn't like the AI moment right now that caused us to start the company. It just happened that I had two great friends who really wanted me to join their company, and they kept prodding me to join their company, and eventually one of us had to figure out how to go make it happen. And
was that at Denny's where you figured it out, from what I recall?
Yeah, we all have families, and so we needed a place to go hang out just to talk about it. And that Denny's was right outside my house. We were living in East Bay, right off of Berryessa, and there was a Denny's near our house, and so that's where we got together. Maybe if I could pass on just one learning. We believed in what we believed. It was incredibly hard to do. We had to shape and shift and inspire an entire industry to follow us and join us. It took 30 years. That's probably the best part of the story.
So persistence, right?
Persistence, resilience, deep commitment, deep belief, cleverness, and how not to go out of business along the way. You can't be resilient for 30 years. You can't be persistent for 30 years if you're out of business.
If you were starting again, what would you tell your younger self as an entrepreneur? Because most of the people who start companies are like first-time entrepreneurs. What would be your advice when you were starting NVIDIA, now that you've played it? What's different? Like, what would you tell yourself?
First, in 31 years, I've learned a lot. And the first thing I would not do is to share all of that with my younger self. That's the first thing I would do. Yeah. Just to hold on to it and to share it along the way. And the reason for that is because there's a superpower in ignorance. There's a superpower in not knowing how hard something is. There's a superpower in not believing that something is impossible. That's a superpower. And the more history we have behind us, the more we know, the more we realize how hard something is. And so I love that feeling of thinking, how hard can it be?
So that's what inspires you, right? Like,
all these hard problems we're looking at. My first inclination is, well, how hard can it be? Well, it turns out it's really hard.